He's getting better. You know, he's like all true freshman quarterbacks or redshirt freshman quarterbacks. I mean, they're, you know, guys that are that young, you know, struggle at times, you know, but you know, consistently get better, you know, and you know, I know they've been going back and forth, which, you know, they may still go back and forth. You never know. But once you settle on a guy and you give him reps and he knows he's the guy, he typically gets better and better.
You said a couple of times about getting pushed and not pushing back. I think you punched them out. How often and how well do you guys think you faced and handled adversity situations? It seems like every game there's been one or two times you've done well and not done well.
Yeah, and then I've talked about this with the guys. You know, as far as, you know, every game's there's adversity. I mean, everybody's coached, everybody's got scholarship players, everybody's got facilities, everybody's got, you know, commitment, everybody's trying to get better, and everybody, I mean, there's parity, especially in the Big East. We've talked about this, parity in the Big East is tremendous, you know, and there's a lot of guys that are capable of winning this league. It's just reality, you know, and you know, when that happens, you got to be able to handle adversity throughout the course of a game, because the ball's, you know, always going to bounce your way, right? And so you got to be able to overcome that on the sidelines, which I think we've done a pretty good job of throughout the course of the season, with the exception of last week. You know, we didn't. We went into the locker room. You know, we had a turnover right before the half. It was extremely unfortunate. Gino learned from it. We could have got points and went in about a touchdown down, came out. Offensively, we marched it right down the field, you know, and was in position right there. I mean, we're only down 4, whatever it is, and we're in the game. And at that point right there, we gave up, which was discouraging.
Can you avoid adversity?
No, not in a football game. You know. I don't care who you are. I mean, if you take the #1 team in the country, they're going to face adversity. Take LSU when they were here. When we came back on them and we cut it within 1 touchdown, what'd they do? The very next play, they returned it for a touchdown. You know, so but I mean, we had got ourselves back in the game, and then they were able to, you know, go forward. That's what good teams do. So adversity is going to hit. It's how you handle it on the sidelines. And then to take it a step farther, if you lose a game, like we did last week, it's what's going to happen throughout the course of the week to be able to overcome it and fix it. So that's what we're going to be looking for our upperclassmen to be able to do.
Is a loss, or is there a difference between losing 16-14 or whatever it was Syracuse? I mean, Rutgers lost and you guys losing 49-23.
Loss is a loss, period.
Mostly mental.
Yeah, we're, you know, and especially us offensively, we're not going to leave anything out there. I mean, we're going to start firing things. I mean, we're not going to give up and huddle and run the ball and just try to get out of a bad situation. I mean, you know, when we scored that last touchdown, we offensively we're going through the thing. Do we need to go for 2? You know, what's the chart say? You know, because we expect to get the ball back and go score again. Expect to get the ball back and go score again. And when we cut it 42-23, I mean, we were like, okay, here's what we need to do. We need to get the ball back. We need to go score, go for 2. And then get the ball back, go score, go for 2, and we're down a field goal. That was our thought process. Obviously, it didn't work out that way.
You'd be amazed. It was going through minds in the press box.
I mean, we were talking about it on the sidelines, you know. But you know, if we need to score 49 to win, we need to be able to score 49 to win. But obviously, it's a team sport, and we got to play better on the other 2 sides of the ball, just like we needed to play better offensively.
How do you play better in coverage? Obviously, that's been a problem at times for you in terms of kick coverage.
Yeah, I mean, play harder, run faster, be more aware. You know, the kicks were good. The kicks have been a problem this year, and some of the return stuff, the kicks have been a problem. That wasn't a problem. The kicks were good, and you know, we just needed to cover harder. We had a couple guys get out of their lane, and you know, and Keith missed. You know, he missed it. He's the safety, and he whiffed. You know, and Keith can't whiff ever. You know, and he did, and he feels bad about it. And came back and he about murdered the guy on the punt team about 3 or 4 plays later.
I know it's not something you've concerned yourself with up to this point, but with the reports out of WVU possibly going Big 12, anything you have thoughts on? Do you even take that in consideration?
I don't have any dealings with that. I mean, if I had an opinion, I don't even know who I'd call. If I called Oliver and Dr. Clements, then they'd probably laugh at me and say, you need to worry about Rutgers, which is true, 100% true. So, you know, I spent 16 hours yesterday scheduling and game planning for Rutgers, and came in and finished up for about 4 hours this morning, and then been doing media for about 2 hours. So I'd like to know where I'd find the time to do it if I wanted to.
Daniel, one thing you do have a line on, though, is Big East versus Big 12 styles of football, how the game is played. Any thoughts on the differences between the two?
It's different. It's different. If you look at all the Big 12, you know, Texas, Baylor, Tech, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, I mean, they're all spread. You know, Kansas State's kind of, you know, Coach Snyder's still doing things the way he did them 40 years ago, which is obviously being incredibly successful. And I'm only 2 games into, you know, the Big East, but based on kind of what I've seen, it's a little different. I do think that the movement is coming east. You know, and you know, if you look at what we're bringing at West Virginia and Pitt and Louisville, you know, there's in Cincinnati, there's a shift to where it's becoming more and more, you know, a little bit more open, so to speak. You know, it's still a little, you know, tougher, you know, old school mentality, you know, but I do think it's coming this way.
Is there a cultural difference between football there and football here?
No, I don't think so. I think it's important to a whole lot of people at a whole lot of places.
Are you getting questions from people that you know in the Big 12 at all? I mean, I know you might not have time to answer them, but are they reaching out to you?
No. All my connections are coaches. What do you think they're doing this week?
In terms of the recruiting impact of it, when TCU announced it was moving to the Big 12 a couple weeks ago, you said you didn't feel like recruits were worried about playing one game against TCU and that didn't really matter. But is it different when it's 5 or 6 games against teams in that area as opposed to?
You know, I don't know. You know, we got a wide recruiting base that we're going to recruit a lot of kids from. We got a lot of guys from Florida and, you know, Maryland, Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. It's all important to us. I don't think it really matters who you play. People want to come here because of what we got here, you know, and that I don't think that'd change.
Is New Jersey a place you looked at or circled before? It used to be a lot of players came here. A lot of the student body comes here as it is, but I mean, they have good football there. They used to have a lot of players here. Is that something you looked at when you came here just because of geography? Yeah, I talked to Coach Lockwood about it. You know, he's recruited there in the past. We're going to try to get him in there a little bit more, and we're going to get Coach Beatonville in there a little bit more. Which that's just, you know, we didn't have anybody in there, you know, and you run out of manpower at some point, you know. I mean, you don't have, you know, you only got 9 guys to go out and recruit, you know, so you run out of manpower, and I think that's one area that got left out over the last few years for whatever reason. Okay, guys, appreciate it.